Okay, hello and welcome back to another Story of English with me, Daniel from Myers Modena. Guys, what are we going to look at today? Well, we're going to look at one of the most common and most popular accents in the English-speaking world. We're going to be looking at Southern British English. Have a go at pronouncing that with me. Southern British English. I think these two are quite easy. Southern British English, okay? Southern, of course, is the opposite of Northern. What are the other two? We've got Northern, Southern. See if you can answer in the comments. What's the correct adjective there? Okay, right, so we're talking about Southern British English. Now, before we talk about the specifics, let's just be very clear. British English, what does that mean? It means the English that comes from Britain. Daniel, that's really obvious. Not always, because people tend to get confused. Which three countries are in Britain? Great Britain. England, the best. Scotland, not bad. Wales, okay. So we've got three countries in Great Britain. If you include Northern Ireland, United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, right? So today we're not talking about Northern Ireland, we're not talking about Scotland or Wales per se. We're talking about Southern British English, that is the English from the south of Britain and so geographically from the south of England. Now, I am from the south of England, so I feel like I'm qualified enough to talk about this. But of course, there are other teachers as well in Myers Modena or Parma who are from the south of England. Can you write in the comments which teachers are from the south of England? Can you write in the comments which teachers are from the north of England? And can you write in the comments which teacher/teachers are from the middle part of England, the Midlands? Anyway, Southern British English. Now, like I always say with these Story of English videos, to get to the heart of the story, sometimes you have to go back to the beginning. This is what we're going to do with the backstory, right? So, in English, we have 4 periods of the language. Is this relevant? Yeah, because it helps you understand how this formed. So originally we had Old English. Think of the Anglo-Saxon Chronicle. Think of the epic Beowulf. Middle English, Geoffrey Chaucer and the Canterbury Tales. Early Modern English, some guy, Bill Shakespeare, William Shakespeare. Apparently he was famous. And then late modern English, the English we speak today. Okay, when did this accent evolve and develop? Well, it kind of happened between stages 3 and 4. You had early modern English, late modern English, between Shakespeare and now, let's say. Okay, well remember, if native speakers read Shakespeare, we can understand most of it. It's the pronunciation that was different. It was probably a little bit more similar to modern American English, which you can absolutely see in the next video. Okay, right, so you have to understand that this accent evolved. Where did it come from? Who wanted to make this accent and why? Well, you have to understand that around the time of Shakespeare, in fact before that, there was a process happening in the English language called the Great Vowel Shift. Great Vowel Shift. Now remember, what is a vowel? A vowel is the opposite of a consonant, A, E, I, O, U. These are the vowels in English. So the Great Vowel Shift was the Great Vowel Change. And in this time, and this happened over a process or a period of 100, 200 years, it wasn't instantaneous, lots of the vowels and the ways of pronouncing things in English evolved and changed. And remember, this is typical of any language. Languages evolve, they don't remain the same, they change. English was no different. It was established, this dialect, or this variant, if you like, by the aristocratic or the nobility of Britain. Now, where were they mainly from? Well, if you think about this, right, the capital of England and the capital of Great Britain and the capital of the United Kingdom is London, right? London has been for hundreds of years a power point, a centre of power for England, for Britain, It was also for the empire. Now those days are long gone, but of course London is still the capital. So everyone from London, you had this aristocratic class, this top echelon, this level of society, the aristocrats, the nobility, the elite, the prestige, right? All these people. They wanted to develop an accent that was different from the poor working class people, and they wanted to sound different. They didn't want to sound like these commoners, the people out there working the field. You know, we're different. We are born with a silver spoon in our mouths. We are born by the grace of God to rule these poor people, a bit like Tom, the old teacher, right? So they wanted to develop this accent and make it different. Different from what? Okay, well, most accents before the Great Vowel Shift tended to have sharp A's, the ah. What does that mean? Think of a word like glass, okay? A drinking glass, or glasses, right? Almost everyone in a different way in the UK would say glass or something like this. So what did this nobility, this group of nobility do? They changed it from glass to glass. So can you hear the difference there? Originally glass and then glass. Bath, bath, like the city or like when we wash, right? Grass, grass, path, path, okay? So this is very common and you can hear the differences there. So we went from the sharp to the long r. What's this called in linguistics? This is called the trap-bath split or the trap-bath split. Because remember, England, like we alluded to the other day in another video, north versus south, England is divided, like Italy, on social lines, cultural, linguistic, economical, all sorts of things. And it's very representative of the Great Vowel Shift, and so this introduced and developed dialect of English. So that's one thing that changed. We went from the sharp like in apple, to the r, okay? Another thing that changed was the letter U, okay? Like in southern, the letter U. Now in the north of England and also in the Midlands, words like fun are still pronounced fun, okay? But fun was the original, okay? So think of cup or fun or mum, okay? Originally it was cup, fun and mum, okay? So if someone says to you, are you having fun? Well, in Northern English or maybe in Midlands English, are you having fun? Okay? This was the original pronunciation and it evolved in the South, and this elite, you know, they became, you know, this aristocratic level that was different from the poor people. So you had the U changed from the to the sound. Fun, jump, up, mum, num. Okay, and you had fun, jump, up, mum, num in the north and in the middle of England, not in the south, all right? And this obviously evolved over time. It wasn't an instantaneous process. So that was another thing that changed. Something else that makes Southern British English quite different from, let's say, Scottish English or Irish English, or especially American English, is the fact that it's non-rhotic. Now, maybe you saw an older video of UK versus USA, which is on the Facebook page for Myers Modena, so have a look if you haven't seen it. Non-rhotic, what does it mean? We're not saying erotic, that's something quite different. Non-rhotic is when you don't pronounce the letter after a vowel. So I say southern, southern, and the is just pronounced at the back of the throat. In the USA, it would be southern, southern. In Scotland, southern, something like this. In Irish, maybe southern, southern, something like this. But in the south of England, southern. Let's have an easier example. Water. Water. We are made up of water. In America, water. Water. Obviously you can hear the but also the it's very open. Or in Scottish English, water. Water. Irish English, water. Water. So these accents have the they have the rhoticity. Southern English, British English, doesn't have the rhoticity, okay? And this is very common. Now, if you guys would like an example of a really good, clear Southern British English accent, look no further than our teacher, Helen Thompson. So where is she from originally? Helen is from Oxford, okay? Notice the pronunciation of Oxford. I don't say Oxford or Oxford or Oxford. Oxford, Southern English, right? She's from Oxford, around that area, and she is very articulate, very clear pronunciation. So next time you see her in the school or on one of the videos on social media, Helen has really got a great example of that. And in fact, the word example itself, Helen would say example, example. Example, Northern English, Midlands English, example. And you're probably thinking, Daniel, why do you say example, not example? I've travelled a lot over the years and my accent is a real big mix, if I'm honest. And so whenever I go home, my family make fun of me and say, stop talking like a Midlander or a Northerner. Anyway, English is English. The important thing is you understand and we're happy, right? Okay, so we've looked at some of the pronunciation. Similar dialects. Well, obviously we're talking about the UK here, Britain. Think of the more recent colonies. So after the Great Vowel Shift, okay, now you have to think about the USA, Canada, obviously didn't exist at that point. But they took with them from England, from Scotland, from Ireland, they took their rhoticity over to the New World, okay? So they have this water, farm, arm, okay? But more recent colonies, Australia, New Zealand, South Africa, they tend to be very, very similar to Southern British English. In a nutshell, Australian English is very similar to Southern British English, but it's very informal, okay? If you would like to see a video on Australian English, let us know in the comments. Australian English is very informal and it took lots of inspiration and influence from Cockney. What's Cockney? Well, you only have to listen to the accent challenge from the other day. Listen to Darren's entry. Darren is a Cockney and they talk like that. You are, mate, do you want a glass of water? And that is the kind of poor people originally, right? But it's expanded very much in the southeast of England. Australian English took lots of influence from Cockney because lots of the original criminals sent down had this accent. Lots of similarities, okay? So if you have Southern British English, car, Australian English, car, okay? Water, water, little, little. So it's quite similar there. Australian English lent to New Zealand English, so these are also very similar. And in South Africa, South African English has lots of old hallmarks, that's to say lots of old examples of Imperial British English. So sometimes when you hear the South African accent, it sounds a lot like how the Queen talks sometimes. And they say, yes, let's go for a drink at the bar. And it's very similar to Southern British English. So you have lots of influences that came from Southern British English, okay? So let's wrap up. In a nutshell, this is one of the most important accents and versions of English, especially in the last 250 years. And it has lots of its traits copied by lots of modern variants of English. All right, well, I hope you've enjoyed this story of English. Remember to like and subscribe, and we sincerely hope to see you at the next video. Stay healthy, stay safe. See you soon. See you soon.